This was back then. It was called the South Common. We'll give you a little. Tom is going to give you a little more information. Tom Bonomi is our historian, our museum historian. Anything you want to know about the granite industry, is the guy. Because every time I talk to him, I learn something new.
As Ellie said earlier, in 1625, Quincy was first settled, but it wasn't Quincy at that period of time. It was originally part of Boston and Dorchester. In 1640, it became the North Precinct of Braintree. 1749 to 1754 was a very early date for taking stone. It was from the two areas in that area, in Old Braintree. The North Common and the South Common were set aside. And basically, large tracts of land, and you can see them on these maps that we'll hand around here. This was the North Commons in green. This is the South Common area here that's circled in orange. And acres and acres of land. They were set aside for the residents of this area so that they could get wood or they could take stone for their own purposes, for building foundations for their barns or their houses. But in 1749, they decided they were going to build this, the church in Boston there, the King's Chapel. And they needed a large amount of stone. They were replacing a wooden structure that was there on the site earlier with a stone structure. Very early, one of the earliest stone buildings that was built in this country was King's Chapel. If you go into Boston today on School Street, you can still see the building standing there. We have pictures of it here. I'll pass these maps around so people can take a look at them.
Pass these pictures around. You can pass them around. That's
so that common land is where the stone, and it was from this area here in the North Commons also, that the stone was taken from for King's Chapel. Nobody had worked. Huh? This is the South Commons area here that we're standing in. It goes way back to Faxon Park. The North Commons is up on Quarry Street where the Elks Lodge is, and that area there, High Point. That land eventually, what happened was, it was common land, like I said, so that the residents could take wood, they could take stone. But what happened was, after they could building King's Chapel, they were constructing King's Chapel, and they sold the stone. They had contractors. There were two contractors that were involved with taking stone from both the North Common and the South Common.